But for one unlucky couple travelling into Tavistock, it happened. A large tree fell directly onto their moving car.
When we saw the car under the tree, I was immediately overcome. I've been to these accidents like this before with trees down on cars, and they've always been fatal.
First recollection that I had opened my eyes and there was a lot of people around. I thought I was going to die. I just said, please God, don't let me die.
I looked at the officer in charge. I looked at despair, like, without saying anything, he sort of said, no, get on with it, you know?
The first rescuer began cutting branches off the tree to try and reduce its weight, estimated at over 10 tons.
It was just so unreal. You're waking up and all this commotion's going on around you and you just don't know what's happening.
I can remember the girl trying to feel my feet to see if they was all right. I can remember her saying, can you feel them? I could still feel them, but I couldn't even move, you know.
One of the firemen positioned himself so he could relay messages. Because when I was trying to examine the driver, I wanted to ascertain, obviously, what sort of feeling he had in his lower limbs. And I couldn't hear what the answers were or what was happening even when I was touching the patient.
I immediately knew that we were going to need a lot of outside help because of the sheer size of the tree.
A local builder's merchant, Edmund Kaminsky, was asked to bring his forklift truck.
So I didn't waste no time, and I went like a jet. I love it, that truck, because our truck travel fast, and I go anywhere and I lift it.
Mr. Kaminsky he's a local character, just everybody's friend. It was a nice sight to see him rolling up flat out with his head down and his hat on, getting there as fast as he could.
My forklift lifts 2.5 ton legally. Emergency, he will lift 3.5 to 4 ton.
What he did was he got his forks in under the centre of the tree and raised it up and got it really stable, making it a lot safer for everybody to work on the casualties.
And I lifted like a yo-yo, just like a yo-yo.
Edmund Kaminsky's truck couldn't lift the full weight of the tree, but he stabilised it enough for paramedics to reach Susan.
They managed to get a little gap between the patient and the tree. I crawled underneath then, examined the lady as best I could. I assumed at the very least it was going to be a fractured pelvis. There wasn't enough room to get my hands in properly. But again, the fire service had managed to get the tree up a little bit more.
A breakdown truck and logging vehicle joined the increasing number of rescuers, but the tree was still too heavy to lift. A flare was used to guide Devon Air Ambulance onto a nearby hockey pitch. Meanwhile, rescue services had found a way to get Susan out of the back of the car.
Susan was in the car for about an hour. We were extremely lucky to get Susan out as quickly as we did.
I'm so sorry.
I remember when he was lifting me out, I felt relieved. I thought, if I'm going to die, I'm definitely not going to die at the side of the road.
Susan was flown to hospital where they treated multiple injuries, including a fractured skull and cheekbone and broken ribs. Michael was still badly trapped in the wreckage, pinned under the car's steering wheel, when a crane arrived after a 1-hour drive from Plymouth.
Couldn't understand where the steering wheel had gone. It had disappeared completely, and apparently it was pressing right down into his abdomen.
We were trying to untangle Michael's feet from the pedals, and while I was there, they'd cut part of the tree from above my head, and it seemed to slip. I did put my hands up. I did realise that was a bit silly, so I could hold up a tree of that size with my hands.
At last, in a combined effort, they finally managed to lift the tree away, giving the fire brigade clear access to the crushed car.
He just said, look, it's going to be noisy for a little while, but we've got to get you out and that's it, you know. So I just sort of got used to the idea and to put up with it.
Most of the car was cut away, the roof was cut clear. It left us with a bit of space to get into him, get him out.
Once we got the tree, we still couldn't move him because we had to get the steering wheel and the steering column off him. That seemed to take an age. Michael was in the car for 3 hours.
Have a sweet day like that, last. There you go.
They were fantastic boys, you know. One of the medics said, go and get your lottery card today on the way home. If I was you, Mike, you know, you come out with a chance in a million a day, you might be just lucky on the lottery, you know.
When they took the man out, it was wonderful. Relief, like somebody relieves your weight of your shoulder, you know? Yes. Never be forgotten.
We all got around afterwards and looked at it and just still couldn't believe how anybody had survived it. It was incredible.
Michael was kept in hospital overnight, but decided to convalesce at home.
My face was smashed around. My speech is gone, really, to what it used to be. My right arm was pretty useless and still is. It's unfortunate it happened. Now it's over. I mean, I just want to put things back and try to start again, you know.
Michael was actually a taxi driver, and the car had been new that Christmas.
It had been windy before. The day before, it was terrible. When they said to me a tree had toppled over, and I couldn't believe it.
Michael and Susan only met each other 45 minutes before the accident and had been extremely unlucky to be in the car at that moment. But